All right, it's 8:54 and John Duggan is here to talk to us about the US Open. How was it?
Ger and Owen, good morning. It was okay.
Grand.
It's a bit dull.
Gary Woodland wins, you're like, all right. I mean, I'm sure it's great for him. He seems like a good guy. But come back to me when you're Brooks Koepka and you won 3.
Well, Brooks Koepka made it very interesting, given the history that could be made. And he was really out of the blocks quickly. He got, 4 birdies in his first 5 holes, 1 putt the first 5 greens. But then he really couldn't get it going after that. His last birdie was the 11th, and Gary Woodland had that cushion at the start of the day. Justin Rose didn't perform, and then Gary Woodland played a very controlled round of golf to win his first major. I've been following him for quite a long time because I obviously follow the tour for about 20 years, and he was a very good basketball player in a point guard in Kansas, like a really top college basketball player. But didn't play golf really seriously until he was in university. And he was a very good baseball player, so he's always been a very good athlete, and it's just taken him a long time to become a major champion, which he is now.
What's his game? Is he a boomer?
He was a bomber. He was athlete, brawn. Butch Harmon coached him for many years.
This wasn't supposed to be one where the big hitter...
No, it wasn't. And but Gary Woodland in his first ever season on tour, proper season, he won on a tight course in Florida, Copperhead I think it was. But he had been 7 times holding the 54-hole lead in tournaments and never closed.
Right.
So I think what the couple of interesting things I've seen, Butch Harmon retired 18 months ago, so Pete Cowan, who coached Darren Clarke to win the Open, and he's coached Louis Westhuizen and Lee Westwood, became his coach. And then he also got Phil Kenyon, who was the mastermind behind Molinari's putting improvement, has been working with him on the short game. So Gary Woodland seems to have been able to click his short game and bring it to a new level. Not only probably in the last couple of years, he did have the 36-hole lead at the PGA last year. He was in the top 10 of the PGA recently, and he just seems to have found it. And maybe it was one of these things that it just took him a while to find it. The same happened with Retief Goosen, actually. Retief Goosen was a very good tee to green player for a long period of time, and then won 2 US Opens with great putting.
And look, he obviously deserved to win because it was a wire-to-wire victory, effectively.
Yeah, all 4 rounds in the 60s. Also, twice, because I did stay up to watch it, the 14th hole was a par 5. He bombed it down there and got it down for birdie. And then the 17th, probably his most nervy shot of the day, his tee shot was kind of pulled, and he pitched it to about 2 or 3 feet, and was kept missing a birdie putt on 18. I think Woodland knew then that this was his, and then on the final hole, the coup de grace, he sunk a long one for birdie. So it could have been like a 1-shot win, but it ended up like a 3-shot win.
Okay. How did your tips do, John?
Brutal. I'm looking into the camera to say that. Well, they all made the cuts, but I'm confident. It's only, there's always another day, and the other day will be this week, or it'll be at the Open Championship. So I'm not. I'm confident.
Ricky Fowler started really well. He was 500 on day 1.
Yeah, mental Ricky Fowler. I think that's a mistake I'll be making too many times. If I'm taking 2 players out of the tournament that didn't win, it'd be John Ram and Xander Schauffele. They'd be the 2 players I'd be taken out of the tournament. Both played very well, finished both tied for 3rd. Yeah, Koepka played very well, very, very solid. He just didn't have that maybe Tiger Woods magic to make things happen on the back 9 that you might expect from a world number 1 who's been playing supremely well. It just didn't happen.
It looked like he was a little bit exhausted almost at that point.
Possibly, yes. He was pushing it a little bit, and it just wasn't. Sometimes when you push it, it doesn't work. Justin Rose didn't have the greatest day, and then Rory took out the driver on the 2nd, which was a precision hole, and got into all kinds of trouble. Made double bogey, and could feel the air going out of the balloon. Then,
what was your overall sense of his performance during the 4 days? Was that suggesting that he was pushing it a little bit too hard in terms of being too ambitious on certain holes?
Well, there's a couple of things. Once again, another very solid performance, a top 10, which you can't crab about. But he was in a very good position at halfway. He was 5 under par. And when I'm looking through the scores here, what did he finish on?
5 under?
5 under par.
Yeah.
There you go. So he didn't improve his score over the weekend whatsoever. Yeah. I just don't like this talk, and Paul McGinley was saying it about, well, this course doesn't suit Rory. If Rory McIlroy is meant to be the supreme being and one of the top golfers in the world, every course should suit him, surely. It shouldn't be all about long par 72 bomber courses. And Pebble Beach was there to be got at if you were keeping the ball in play.
Certainly the first 2 days.
Yeah, and really, like the last couple of days as well, I would have felt. I was once again tuning in to these 6 or 7 footers that would go, like glide past the hole, and he had 3 double bogeys over the week. Gary Woodland had 4 bogeys in total over the week.
Yeah. Rory had on Saturday we went double bogey in the back 9 just to take himself 3 shots back, as opposed to it being in a situation where Gary Woodland's looking at the leaderboard and is like, ooh, it's Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy who are chasing me down, as opposed to it's nobody chasing me down. So fair play to him. He does hold off that early surge from Koepka, and he doesn't wilt seeing it. What about Tiger? Because there was a little bit of expectation. Obviously, this is a famous, storied relationship that he has with Pebble Beach as well. Even at his lowest ebb, he was really good around Pebble Beach.
Too many mistakes. Curate's egg, brilliant at times, and then mistakes at other times. So, really rallied well and finished well yesterday. But as I said to Owen the other day, I felt he hasn't been playing enough golf, competitive golf. I don't know if he's, with his back issues, if he can practice that much.
He can't really.
And that's the issue, because then you're not... you can get sharp, because he got sharp and he found something for the Masters, and he knows Augusta so well, and I know he knows Pebble very well, but in those kind of cold conditions with the weather, I just didn't get the feel, like when I was reading the transcript of his first round, I'm not too crisp on irons, and generally Woods is the most supreme iron player out there. That said to me, he's maybe not playing as much or practicing as much as he should be, and maybe because he can't.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit Roger Federer. I kind of get the Federer feel about Tiger Woods, that he's trying to get himself ready for these things. The grass court, the Wimbledon, I'll play the US Open. I'm not going to play that many other events. So what that does, it just kind of takes a little bit of possible elite sharpness at the 1% level out of your game. That's what I was kind of saying, even in the preview, that Brooks Koepka might be a little bit tired mentally, even more so than... and there was a couple of putts that he missed on the back 9 that maybe he might have got in a different setting.
Who does the Open course favour this year?
Don't really know. Portrush is the first time. I just think anybody in control of the game. I think John Ram has won an Irish Open. Schauffele, who I'm talking about there, played very well last year, but at Carnoustie, but then he kind of fell apart when the wind got going. So players can control their ball in the wind. Ricky Fowler's one of them, but you wouldn't really touch him after this. I'm looking at Adam Scott. Once again, his putting was poor on the back 9 yesterday. Missed a very easy one. Rory's got some very good scores there from his early days at Portrush. It's GMAX local course. He's in the top 20. Look, it's a hard one to call at the moment. Matsuyama played pretty well at the US Open. So
Jamie Donaldson won the Irish Open when it was held at Royal Portrush. I had to look that up. I was googling that there. So
and it was big scores. I think it was like a big under par, 20 under par, something.
18 under, yeah. Rafa Cabrera Bello, Anthony Wall, and Fabrizio Zanotti were the runners-up. I'm not sure if Zanotti's going to make the field this time.
British Opens are hard to call. They're generally hard to call. I would generally feel that it's Rama, somebody be on the right. I want to be on the right side of it. I think a major is coming his way shortly. The players I tipped, like Larry, apart from his first round, played pretty solid at Pebble Beach. And Larry's somebody I'd be still on the right side of going to Portrush.
I had €2 each way on GMAC at 100 to 1. If he'd made the top 8, he wasn't far off it. He needed to make a couple of birdies.
That's frustrating.
It is, because he played really well all week and he was hovering thereabouts, and then just fell out on the last day. You're like, oh, come on.
Keep that faith in the golf betting. The golf is where the money is.
Well, just not this week.
It's not this week.
John, good stuff. Anything
all right,
else?
guys.
No, that was it.
No, I found the round robin interesting. All these teams are level on points and then got themselves eliminated. So disappointed for Clare. And the Dubs beating Galway, that's a bit of a shock. That's a bit of a shock now. So I would be of the view that I think the Munster teams are pretty clear versus the Leinster teams.
It feels that way. It definitely feels that way. I can't wait to see what happens when they actually meet, to see if we've been completely wrong about that, and if this just exists in a rarefied atmosphere, and that when the Leinster teams get stuck into them, that life is different. But it's based on nothing other than hope.
I'll be of the view that Limerick are probably the best position now, actually. I'll be of the view that Limerick are probably the best position. Football-wise, we're waiting, I think, as you said earlier in the show, for the who's a team that is going to have that run in the Dubs. Maybe it's going to be Kerry, and Kerry haven't been really seen yet. But like
I think the answer might be nobody, John.
yeah, the kind of the tier, the second tier is not very strong.
No, it's getting weaker and weaker as we go. John, good stuff. Thanks
All right,
for
guys.
that.